Hey yo, this is another video, so let's go. All right, this video is about Erykah Badu and her stopping the ancestors from fully coming through. You're like, what do you mean her stopping the ancestors from fully coming through and doing the things they need to do? Okay, all right. So let me start off like this first. I got into hip hop or rap or, different types of music later on in life because I was kept in the church so long. When I finally got to it, I was like, oh, I've been missing all of this. But anyway, 97, I found out about her, but I didn't get into the music until like later, 97, whatever. And so, I remember I heard about her. I'm like, okay. Heard about she went to some school called Grambling, Louisiana, the college out there. So after that, years down the line, so I started getting different types of more music. So I started hearing her music, and I got to like her. I got her first album. Not her first album, but the first album I got of hers was like in 2007. New America Part 1, World War 3, I think it's called. And then I started getting all the old ones before that, and then the one that came after, which was the last one, New America Part 2. So make a long story short, I'm gonna get right to that business. All right, so we know. She has three fathers with three different fathers, three different children. I didn't think, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm saying, like, she falls in love or she falls out of love. A lot of people do that. It's not a problem. But remember, I'm always like, one thing I always do. I'm a very observant person. Observation can keep the one thing I noticed too. Observation can keep the emotions at bay for certain reasons. So you can use those emotions or that power, that anger, because anger is a good thing. Anger is used. You can use that for your magic too. Also, highly melanated people, so-called black people, use your anger for your magic. So I'm gonna get into that a little bit more later on in the video. I gotta get right to the facts. I took some notes. Recently, the ancestors, I was recently at, having some talks with Nina Simone, or Eunice Wayman. That's her real name. But her stage name, what she went by, was Nina Simone. And she went hard for the people. Went hard for them. People say, oh, the government get involved and they can do certain things to change the mind of the people. Yeah, that's true. The government, like I always say, the government, the cops, the ambulance, the fire department, certain factors like the masonic groups or Eastern Stars, when they do certain rituals, those rituals are given to them by God. But we look at God as something that can help us. But God hates melanated people, so-called black people, because He uses our energy as like currency. So when we like praying or begging to Him or whatever it may be, when we give our money for tithes or whatever, if you go to church or whatever, and that's your energy, your currency. So all right, now listen, stick with me, okay? All right, so when you give your energy, that's another form of of Zeus. When Zeus, he'll create calamities just so people to pray to him and say, oh, I need you to do this and do that. But he's gonna need something for that. Okay, so let me get back to the Erykah Badu situation. We're making good time. 432, my frequency is high. Ashe. All right, so with this video, I watched her interview on the Breakfast Club, and I wasn't gonna watch it. I was like, I knew she had one before a few years ago, and she has one again. So I said, let me go ahead and watch it, because I knew I got some a transmission or some information from the ancestors about a year ago when I was doing some libations, and I was like, whoa, and I was just like thrown by it, because I was laughing about it, and they just showed me something when I was doing some libations and reading, and I was like, wow. And it was like a year and a half, almost a year ago, I got this information. But you gotta, in order for it to make sense to the people, I wanted to make a video about it. I'm like, I just don't have the information. It just so happens, she just so happened to be at the Breakfast Club, giving. I'm like, let me watch this, because it could, you always watch. That's why I say observation is key and important, because you don't just want to jump into anything. Okay, so I'm watching the video, right? Well, I'm watching the her interview on the Breakfast Club. Hold on, let me get the information, the paper out. Okay, Erykah Badu, the interview right here. She's a doula. So I have a video talking about, as highly melanated people, so-called black people, we shouldn't be making having babies anymore, because that actually cuts into our energy. Because when you're having children, they resemble you. That's a part of, like, the man's or the male's brain fluid, and also it takes energy from the female too, also, and it gets into their it gets in the way of their of them growing too, also, because they have to slow down and make and take care of the baby, because the baby damn near needs you for those first 2 or 3 years until it start moving and walking on its own. You can do more things for yourself. So let's keep going. So 3 months on, from 3 months of you finding out that you're pregnant, and then on until you have the baby, she's with you. Okay, death. She does she's the doula for death. When people about to die, she helps them with their transition, or help them with their dying before they leave their physical body. Okay, and she's talking about this all while she's in the interview with the Breakfast Club. You can watch it on YouTube. If I can remember, I can put a link for that video in the description box. Okay. Then I noticed she was talking about cannabis. She has a cannabis line coming out with Berner. She said Berner approached her a few years ago, and then she wasn't ready for it. Then he came back to her and said, well, it's time for it then. So, okay, remember, I have a video too also about not smoking marijuana or weed on 420, because 420 is a powerful day. That's actually a powerful day for our ancestors that come through us. 420 is actually the born day or the birthday of Adolf Hitler. That's not a bad thing, because if you look at all his symbols, he has all our highly melanated symbols. Whether it's he has the falcon holding the swastika tilted, but that's for war. It's tilted. The swastika is 4 90-degree angles. 90 times 4 is 360 degrees. That's the sun. That's why when you see Charles Manson, he had the swastika on his forehead. He said, I put the tattoo on my head because so the people that supposedly run this, run the entertainment or run the society, we talking about the Hasidic Jews, or the so-called Jews, the white Jews that went from Ashkenazim to they over in the Gaza Strip. So let's keep going. So he did that for a purpose. So every time you put them on the TV, you give them an interview, they always going to see that same symbol, because they're not the original sun people. That's why he put that on the forehead. Okay. So the cannabis with Berner. Okay. So she has 3, like I said before, she has 3 babies and 3 baby daddies, or 3 fathers. So that's not I don't fault anybody for having children with who you have them with, but this is very strategic. Very strategic. Okay. So those 3 babies, she had those fathers. The father she had the children with is with Andre 3000. Who else? The D.O.C. and Electronica. And notice these are 3 guys from 3 brothers from the South. That's a big one, because this is been told that people in the central region, or in the south, they able to, because everything goes in cycles. Remember, think about this: in hip hop or rap, everything started on the East Coast, the West Coast. You had some in the you had in the Midwest. Then the South is like the South's turn. Now everybody getting a turn. Like now, it's like a mixing bowl now. So everybody had their turn, but like the South is like it's broken down language-wise, so everybody can get it in different forms. So the English language is broken down in another format to where people can get it into a palletized, or like a baby getting ready to, you have to chew it down so the baby can eat it. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay, let me get right to it. So this is the conversation that was being had on the Breakfast Club. Okay, the E is for Erykah, and the C is for Charlemagne. Okay, E, Erykah. I didn't plan that. Who plans that in this judgmental society? That's what she says. Now, if you go to the window seat video, she was talking about groupthink at the end of the video when she got shot down in the video. Okay, and I'm gonna get back to that in a little bit. Okay. C for Charlemagne. He said, I thought you planned it, as in a joking way. I thought you planned that. Erykah, she says, you did? You thought I planned it? Well, I planned it. People don't say stuff on purpose, like in a joke. This is a joke. They're talking in a joking manner, but she's not joking. Ancestors told me she's not joking. She said, well, I planned it. Laughs. She said, some part of me planned it. So remember, if you watch the window seat, all those babies were already had before the window seat. Some part of me planned it. So that part of her that had those children, what happened? She killed that version off. Now she's trying to get acclimated or learn this new society. She has, her children a lot older, so she's probably doing some other things. I forgot the role or whatever movie she was in years ago. I remember when Bobby Hemmitt was saying that role she played was not like for a conscious person to be playing. And then he was saying something about the Tyrone video. He said that's like there's some Section 8 song for brothers that's trying to do something, or if you can't pay, well, of course, like what they do when the sisters get on welfare, you can't have the brother in a house, you can't have them nowhere near. So if you do, you can't get you can't get your benefits. Same thing. She was like, I'm like, when you young and you don't understand things, because Bobby, he would analyze or be a very analytical on things. When you're analytical, you can analyze things, and things won't just go over your head like it's just another song. It's not just another song. Trust me, it was done for a purpose. So she said, "Oh, you did? You thought I did it on purpose? Well, I did. Well, I planned it. Some part of me planned it. Like I said before, that part she planned it, killed that version off, and now she's coming into another self, another version, like another version of herself. Now, so she's trying to learn this new society. Didn't she, like I said, I wrote the note, didn't she kill another version of herself, or that version in window seat? Okay, so like I was saying, those three rappers. So if she's working with like a certain group to tell her to take those three artists, these are all three artists from the South, and she's been trained or knows things about the gods and the earths with the 5 percenters. She came up in that the grouping and under Queen of Fool too also. I'm not sure if I should make a 2 video for that, but I'll just put it all in one video. But I think I might just go ahead and make it all in one video. If I do, I might make another one. It depends. Let's keep going. So that version of herself she killed off. Those three artists. Now, those three artists, they're very very good rappers. Remember D.O.C. Right here. All right, now if you ever watched the video, It's Funky Enough. That was on his album, the D.O.C. right? So He's from Dallas. They grew up together. Her and the D.O.C. grew up together. Now, if you ever get to I'm gonna try to remember to put a link to the video, the 33-second mark to the 39-second mark. You will see the Eye of Horus. So directors, they go to school for mythology. When they go to school for mythology, they're able to put in movies, commercials, TV shows, music videos, whatever. They can put mythology in their work. So if you ever watch that part from the 33-second mark to the 39-second mark, you're going to see the Eye of Horus. They're going to use one of the bridges in L.A., use the D.O.C's body for the pupil on the eye, and you're going to see a barrel rolling across the screen, and it makes the Eye of Horus. I've seen it for years. I'm like, wow. But that's what they're trained to do, that to use the artists and the things in their surroundings for mythology purposes, and it'll go right over people's heads that's not even trained or studied in learning or reading or knowing about mythology. So I'm gonna try to remember to put that link for that video in the description, like I said, like I got in the notes. So another thing, the night of the accident for the D.O.C., I remember I saw an interview after I watched the Erykah Badu interview on the Breakfast Club. He had coke and beer, not coke as in the drink. I mean coke as in the drug, and was involved on the incident, the accident he had. He was pulled over by the police, but they let him go. He said he took pictures and everything. Yeah, remember, like I said in the beginning of the video, like I said, you're going to have police, EMS, fire department, certain factors like Masonic groups or Eastern Star groups. They're all involved because they have to, because like even the police, they have the Fraternal Order of Police, the f.o.p. Fraternal Order for Police. So they all have like a fraternity too also. So it's all involved. So like when they're doing these rituals, that means that God can come through their body. So we think that God is really for us. I have a video about this like a few months ago, that God is really against highly melanated people. And all you have to do is look up Amrita underneath all my videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Amrita, that's pretty much talk about melanin. I'm gonna try to remember to put that in the description if I can remember. So let's keep going. Got too much time. So he was pulled over, but the police let him go because they knew they can tell when somebody is drunk or high. But he said I was definitely DUI. That's what he said in the interview. I was definitely DUI. But I was told a couple of jokes and I left. They was planning on you to crash. They were planning on you to get crashed. They was planning on it. I bet it. I know it. So they knew he was high and drunk. They said they saw the N.W.A. plaques in the back of his car too also. So when they saw that, one of the number one songs they hate they had about the police? Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Like, yo, come on, man. You gotta pay attention. When they see the plaques, they're like, okay, that's him. Let him go. So they see the plaques. They saw an N.W.A. plaque. They said he had gold plaques in the back of his car. He was leaving a party with women and all kind of stuff was going on. They were having a big party or whatever. So they saw the plaque and let him go. Energy forms can create accidents for their benefit. By I say energy forms, like I said, God will be able to work through certain people to get in your way. People say, "Oh, that's nothing but the devil." No, it's not. It's not what we think. It's the opposite. Like what I remember Bobby Hemmitt said when somebody told him this when he was real young, before he got into any kind of consciousness. He said somebody's father told him. He said, "What if you found out that God was really the devil and the devil was really God?" And he said that really stuck with me. And that when he was really young, like in his teens, somebody told him that. One of his friends' fathers told him that, and then it just stuck with him. So what I'm saying is, like you see Andre 3000, he's playing the flute now. What do you have? J Electronica. He's with the the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam been over with. It's been over with. The Farrakhan, he been sold out a long time ago. So like when he turned on when he turned on Khalid Muhammad, you should have knew it was some funny shit going on. When Khalid Muhammad got shot and he was in the hospital, he never even came to visit or anything like that. So it was already in the works. So you got to think about it. J Electronica is dating one of the Rothschild's daughters too, also, or about to be married to her. So he's not even really rapping anymore. You're gonna have people waiting for an album, and nothing even comes from it. You got to think when you're not focused on what you focused on, family can get in the way. Another thing she said, I almost passed it up. She said, "I do family." I took a note of that. She said she does it all for them. So when you like sisters and brothers, when you have people that know, like I do magic, whatever. So we all have magic, we do. But the thing is, you have to be focused on what you're focused on, because when your family gets involved, that's when you subside. I remember reading out of this book, The Spirit of Destiny, by Ravenscroft. Forgot Trevor Ravenscroft is his name. And this one guy, he was with the Nazis. He was saying they had somebody in his family, and he said, well, if you got them, well, go ahead and kill them, because he knew the work that he was doing is way more important, because the work you're doing for the ancestors, they're going to protect you, because they have you for a certain reason to do something. You can't let family get in the way of the work of the ancestors, because remember, we all going to die anyway. So if they're going to die, and do something, have a purpose to make you even stronger, or make them even stronger on the other side to help you on this side. So you got to think about it like that. So when all these three guys, they all have three of them have children with them. So what does the industry do? When they want you to do something, what they'll do? They'll say, hey, don't do this, or I will kill your family, kill some members in your family. Then what they do? They buckle, they fall to it. So as highly melanated people, so-called black people, that's going to be some of our downfall. I'm not going to say it's not mine. It's not mine. You have to know what the difference is. Pull yourself away from family, because that's going to be a downfall later on in your journey. Because you'll be like, oh, I'm trying to save my family, or trying to teach them about something. Don't teach. You can't teach them nothing, because what they know is not what they. Everybody has an alarm clock. When their alarm clock goes off, that's when they want to be woke. They don't. It's not for you to try to wake them up, because if it was their time to wake up, they would have been woke up. This is not a fucking game. You playing games, and then because you got to think about it. Adam, remember Adam? He gets the apple from Eve, right? But Lilith is the snake. People don't realize Lilith is Eve and the snake, but she needs Adam to get the apple, because the apple is Daleth. That's information. That's the door in the back of your neck. So if you take the apple, that means you get what? Information. You're supposed to get the information, so you're able to give it to her, so she can start to remember and open up new doors in her, so she won't be blind. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it going. So I'm gonna just take it like that. You gotta realize those three rappers, they stopped rapping for years now. You gotta think, if they were able to elevate the information to a higher platform for us in another format, not just them, even people earlier than that, it's the ego. The ego is involved with family. The ego is involved with I'm better than this, and you don't do what you're supposed to do. That ego can get in the way of your real work. So all I'm gonna say is, hey, for all this everything I've been talking about in this video, family's gonna get in your way. When you have children, or family members, you can't save them. It's only a certain few that the ancestors called to do this work, and you don't do it, you are in the way. So, hey, that's what that is. It's not that he just learned trying to play the flute. He's not playing. He's not rapping because they told him you don't want to. You don't want to. He got a son with Erykah Badu, 7, and you don't want to lose your child. You better stop rapping. Remember, bombs over Baghdad. That information or that energy in the music, it raises the energy in the people. Raises the energy in the people, and what makes everybody else around us sick, right? Okay. What happened? The D.O.C. They knew he was a great rapper too. Also, what else? Electronica. When he did the Exhibit C, everybody was going crazy over that song. Then you got nothing. So when people are waiting on something, they waiting on the energy to change. But you don't. When it's like there's no more clubs or no more dancing, the energy is low. They take away all the clubs and the dance life or the nightlife at nighttime. The energy, you can't heal yourself, or everybody else can still be around because what? The energy is still low at a low form. We high frequency people. We just at a low frequency right now. But I'm gonna just say that. So if y'all, I'm gonna try to put all those links in the videos and just show you what I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. I'm gonna do the other video separate. I don't have too much time on this one, so I'm gonna just say this: family and the ego. It don't get it. You can't involve that with the work with the ancestors. You cannot do it. So when you do that, that ego gets involved, and you can't take it to a higher level because you waiting. You got luggage. You got bags, like as in that bag lady. You got baggage because you can't do all the work that you need to do to get everything that you need to get accomplished. So now your work that you need to have done will get subsided because you let the ego get in the way because of family. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna end this video. But when you doing that by having children, like I always say, stop having children, stop having babies, highly melanated people, so-called black people, because that's actually taken away from your actual power. How can we get anything accomplished if we steady having children? We don't need to have children anymore. I'm just telling you how it is. So those brothers that had children with her, you're not gonna see nothing from them. The same old, same old. Remember, you are your own leader. Nobody is your leader. They say we killed all our black leaders. That was our fault. Now we should be breaking up and not having these groups and start going one-on-one, going by yourself and start doing the work by yourself, if possible. If you got a sister, brothers, or brothers, sisters, if you got a brother that's on the same page with y'all, handle y'all business. You know, you can do what you need to do, but stop having children. That's only going to slow you down, the male and the female, from doing the real work you need to do. All right, I'm going to end this video. Kill God, because God doesn't love highly melanated people. Nigga. You know. 28.